everybody doing here? How's everybody going? I'm Tanya Lea of Harmonia. Welcome to the live tonight. Guys, I am streaming right now on Facebook and YouTube live. If you are here, say hello. Hi, Erin. Hi, Alice. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Vic. Wow, we got a lot of late bloomers here for My Mystical Life. Thank you guys all for being here. My brother is here. Hello, Guy or Kai. Outing you. Hi, Dennis. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. So tonight, guys, I wanted to dive into dreaming because, I mean, we all dream, right? We all have these big dreams. But what I really wanted to go into this, now I did God, it had been over a year ago, where I had done an interview with somebody on Breakdown with my co-host Johanna on the Breakdown. We had also went into exploring dreaming, right? But so much of it has been such a huge part of my understanding of myself with the dream realm. And how many of you guys out there really are into documenting your dreams? Hi, Zenny. Hi, Johanna. There's my soul sis. There's my co-host from another show. How you doing? Thanks all. Look at all this My Mystical Life. Hi, Autumn. Hello. So one of the cool things about dreaming, guys, so there's either people who say, oh, I do dream, and then do you have the people there who go, oh, I don't dream. I don't dream. What's cool about dreaming is it's not just a thing of something being of the subconscious, right? There are people who have jobs. Their jobs are dream researchers. It's part of the science, field as well. People try to put the scientific method to this as well. And, there's so much information that you can get in, but I really wanted to explore with you guys some of the information about dreaming too, along with what I do to help recall my dreams. Because in general, people are most likely to remember their dreams during REM sleep, not the band, REM, rapid eye movement, which occurs periodically after 90 to 120 minutes. So typically, when you're in your 6 hours of sleep, that's usually when the dreaming occurs. That's when our body's repairing itself, when it's in that rapid eye motion. That's when we're in repair mode, okay? But there is this little window of time where we can remember our dreams. We forget about 50% of its content. And 90% of it goes away, guys, with dream details within the first 10 minutes. First 10 minutes. It's gone. It's gone, right? And there's so much variations of like what you can dream of. But one of the things I love about documenting dreams is the patterns, right? Because so many of us dream about similar situations. Similar situations. Hi, Nancy. How you doing? Hi, Colleen. Thank you guys all for showing up. Much appreciation for you all being here. If you are on YouTube, guys, don't forget to hit like. If you're new here, welcome. We would love to have you subscribe to the channel. Thanks all for the love. And sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, especially with this information I'm about to get. So what is the biggest misconception with dreams? One of the biggest one is that it's only our imagination. That dreaming can't do anything other than it's just this false information. But what people don't really put towards it, the fact that people study this is that it's connecting to your subconscious, but it's also opening up huge doorways for other things, primarily self-discovery. I mean, it's huge, but also it's opening and expanding your creativity. Now, I could probably go down the list, but I want you all to come out here because I'm sure you can all figure this out. How many of you have watched a movie or listened to music and you heard that the artist created that because they had a dream, an experience that they had in the dream, and they brought it to the picture? Can't ignore that, right? Some of our favorite musicians and stars and creators have done that. So many. I know a lot of you. Go ahead and list which some of the musicians that you guys know that they created something based on a dream, especially with artwork. Especially, you'll see that. I actually just ordered a new deck that a photographer, and I'll post it on here later. His entire art is based on what he dreamt about. Completely, his art's completely based on that. And some of it can be a little bit like spooky, right? Because it's like weird shit that happens. Right? Oh, Kelly says, I keep dreaming about my invention, right? You dreamt of someone who passed. Stephen King is definitely one. Stephen King is huge on creating stuff based on his dreams. Absolutely. Brad Wolf. Listen, so guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you all. So one of the things that I find cool about dreaming is documenting and seeing the patterns. And for those of you who have trouble remembering your dreams, now, even when I was young, at a young age, I could remember my dreams pretty vividly. And you'll find that children can do this way easier than us because there's nothing stopping them because of their imagination, that it's open. They don't have the belief systems that we have in place saying it's not real or this is not a part of it. It's like you just had a bad dream, right? So it's not reality. But, you know, we try to assure them that everything's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. We've had all of that, right? But there's also something beyond that what can talk to us why we are sleeping, right? So as a healer, the most times that I'm healing people, especially when you have a session with me, I consider myself a dream walker. I put intentions while I sleep. I guarantee you, a lot of you do more work in your sleep than you do when you're awake. Because, guys, remember, our subconscious runs the show. It just does. It's like 97%. And that's science, just telling you. 97% is your subconscious coming in here. Hey, Sam. Hey. So you guys got to remember the amount of information that we're getting from our dreams. Oh, God, Kai, that's a great one. Inception's a great one based on dream systems too, right? But we get a lot of information in our subconscious. And it's up to us to come up with the dream interpretations of what it is. Now, I know I have gotten lost in many a times looking up what a dream means to, I had a dream about something, oh, what does it mean? I got to look it up, right? How many of us do that? How many of you do it? Go ahead, post it. Say how many you do it. So here's some fun facts, guys. The first dream dictionary, it originates from ancient Egypt as far back as 4000 BCE, right? Like are you kidding me? Like this is how people have been dreaming and documenting dreams and trying to interpret them for such a long time, right? And it's such a part of what we have here, a part of our reality. And one of the things that I love is the idea of realizing the patterns. And when I started documenting my dreams, I started doing it at a young age. I've always kept kind of a diary most of my life. Most of it was about what I consciously did, but I also wrote a lot about what I dreamt and what it meant to me. And I realized that that's what it comes down to, is the interpretation is about what it means to you. So do we have anybody here in the house who doesn't really remember a lot of their dreams? Has a hard time remembering? Because there's a couple of things that I'm going to go over there too, where it's like it's kind of hard to remember. Yeah, Alice says she's looked them up. Yeah, we can't help but look it up, right? It's like you want to look up the information about where everything is. It's like, how does this mean? What does this mean to me, right? Let me share with you guys some of the most common dreams. Oh, Sam says he doesn't remember very often. So there are intentions that you can put in, guys, for this. And I'm going to share with you some of the intentions, but I also want to share with you some of the most common dreams out there. And I guarantee you guys are going to go, yep, I dreamt of that. Yep. So let's go through it. Let's go through it. Let's see what's here. All right. So this is from Amerisleep. And this is a survey that they've done, and this is all based on sleep research, guys. But the number one thing that people have the most common, reoccurring dreams is falling. I get that a lot. Being chased is the next. Being back in school. Oh my God, I have that even at almost 44 years old. I could dream about things that are in high school. And I'm like, why am I dreaming about high school? What is coming up here? Being unprepared for a test or an important event. That used to happen to me a lot when I was a photographer and I had something that I was like going to an event or a wedding. I would always dream like that week that like I forgot something in my bag to bring to the wedding. How many of you have had that? Or you forget something? Johanna says Archangel Gabriel will help you remember your dreams as well as if you ask him for help. Yeah, these, and we'll get into those tips, but really let's dive into this list, because this list is like, this made me laugh a little bit. So then we have flying, mortality, having your teeth fall out. I've had that too. Being lost, going nowhere, or moving in slow motion. I haven't really dreamt of the slow motion thing or not going anywhere. I've been in loops. Haven't many of you been in loops before? Have you ever been stuck in a loop where it's like, I'm doing it over and over again? Being late or missing a train, bus, or plane. Being paralyzed or unable to speak. Seeing spiders, snakes, or other creatures. Yes, other things come into your dreams. I have that a lot happen to me. Having intruders break into your house. Finding money or coming into wealth. I don't dream of that much, but I wish I did. Maybe I should put that intention into that more. Driving an out-of-control vehicle. I'm going to tell you guys in a second when we get through this list why some of this means some of this to you, right? Meeting celebrities, meeting a stranger, vacationing in a wonderful place, experiencing the end of the world, being unable to find a restroom. That's at 12%. Discovering a secret or unused room, being part of a movie or TV show, being trapped, crushed, drowning, using technology that doesn't work. And I have a tip for that because that's actually part of lucid dreaming. Losing or forgetting a child, experiencing a plane crash, making an important discovery. And then, ready for this? And I've never had this happen to me, but it's only at 1%. Having glass in your mouth. What? Is that really a thing? Is that really a thing? Having glass in your mouth? I can't believe they had even enough to 1% to put that down as having it in there. Feeling like you can't run away, can't move from something. Maybe I'm stuck in life. So this is what Colleen's doing right now. Guy says, did fighting space bugs make the list? No. Well, actually, it says creatures here in the apocalypse. So that could be part of it. That could be part of it. Hello, Ellie. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming on. Nice to see you here. So one of the things, guys, that I find with dream interpretation is it can be very overwhelming with the amount of information that is out there. But what it truly comes down to is, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? What are you going through at this purpose or at this moment? I mean, you could be logical about it and be like, okay, I'm dreaming a lot about work right now because I'm stressed about work, right? Like, you can use your logical mind, but really what it comes down to is, how does the dream make you ready for it? How does the dream make you feel? How does it make you feel? Because that is a really big flag right there. If you're feeling fearful of something, if you're waking up and you're like feeling good about it, there's something in there that your body is trying to get across to you. It's information. Ellie's just going to bed. She's ready to dream. I should tell you what to do for some of the dream intentions so you're there. So just imagine your body is going through all of this intention of trying to figure out the information of what it is, and is giving you that sensory of the red flags, right? Whether it's somebody who's actually in the dream with you or just the experience, it all comes down to how you feel. The perception is based on what you perceive. So you can go to experts, and I'm not saying, hey, you shouldn't go to a dream therapist or you should go to a seed planner, because all these people are amazing at what they do. And I've interviewed some amazing people with that information of how you can put intentions in the dreams and so forth like that. But this is bigger than that. This is about creating something for you. so that you can really start getting an idea of how you feel. And one of the things that I have learned with dreams is I was so curious because I'm such an artist and I'm so into creativity, and I've gotten a lot of my ideas inspired by dreams as well. But I always was fascinated with anything beyond more than that, right? Like, how come I can't remember, or oh, how come I can only remember parts of it? And am I filling in the gaps in between? So what I want you guys to do, now there's a couple different steps you can do this. Now you can do a scientific approach on this. And let me tell you, I already did this for you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Because I was miserable. But I wanted to share this with you because I wanted to put science to this. And I said, I'm going to try this out, even though that I do remember my dreams a lot now. I mean, I intensely remember my dreams because I've documented it and I practiced doing this. But this is an effort for people who say they can't dream. Okay. Now this is coming from sleep.org, and this is coming from a neuroscientist. His name is Raphael Villay. And I'm going to post the article after this. You'll see in the description, but he specializes in sleep and dream research at the University of California. And he said that if you are convinced that you cannot dream or remember your dreams, I have a solution for you to test out. So basically what he says, all you need to do is set your alarm to sound every hour through the night. And each time you wake up, you ask yourself if you were dreaming, and then write it down. You'll find chances are that in the beginning, you'll probably be irritated. And then by midway, you're going to start remembering it. And he states, and this is a quote from him, I'll probably guess you'll remember a dream 6 times out of 10, with most happening in the second part of the night. He said, try it for yourself, although I'm not responsible for the very bad day you'll have after this experience. Well, I said, well, he's given me an option. Let me try it. Yeah, he's so happy. So guys, so what happened? I went ahead and I did this. And let me tell you, not only was I irritable and then cranky, but it started to realize the patterns of when I remembered my dreams the most. Usually when I'm restless, usually when I'm having some high anxiety or I can't sleep or insomnia moments, I realized I was remembering a lot more. And it's because your body is constantly going in and out of REM. It's constantly going into that modes of repairing. So you're remembering things. This is science. This isn't like me being woo-woo here. This is just a science test. So I did start being able to document a lot more. And it also brought to the forefront of some other things for me doing this experience, because I did a lot of this stuff unintentionally when I was younger because I was curious. And that really was lucid dreaming. Ellie says, I did this to train myself to wake up. I also continue to follow on with my dream if I wake up. That's common too. That happened to me a lot, where you can pick up the dream and then all of a sudden switches. How many of you find that where you switch the dream? You're like, I don't know, was I just in a continuing story? Or yeah, it happens a lot. I also find what happens a lot is you will, like, if some of you have those reoccurring dreams where like, I've been here before. So that's one test that you can do. But I'm going to try something that's a little bit more easier. And it's something that I have been doing for over 10 years at this point, because I'm really into the practice of lucid dreaming. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I feel like there's some kind of misconception here in regards a lot of times with lucid dreaming. So a lot of people feel that, all right, so let's just say it here. Lucid dreaming, guys, is when you know you're dreaming while you're asleep. It's that. There is a lot of misconception, and then you can do your own research or how it feels to you. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying this is what I believe in. There's a lot of misconception that you can absolutely control everything in your dream when you're in lucid dreaming. I think that is not necessarily the case. What you are capable of doing, because I have done lucid dreaming a lot and I practice this, is with lucid dreaming is once you're aware that you are dreaming, you have the ability to insightfully put in information to see if it happens. And that's how the controlling part comes in. But you don't necessarily know what's going to happen in the level of how someone's going to talk to you and so forth, right? So it's not always that clear cut. It's not always that clear cut. But like if you're flying and you're saying, I'm flying, I know I'm dreaming, you can continue to fly. You can feel that. But that doesn't control the fact of the environment that you're in, and you might run into a building. Right? Like, so, and lucid dreaming is not the same thing. A lot of people confuse lucid dreaming with astral projection, and there's so much information on astral projection, and that's a form of an out-of-body experience. And I'm going to do an entire different show on there because I also practice that with astral body. But that's imagining your consciousness being separate from your physical body and entering into the astral body. So you're literally lifting from your body. You're able to see things within there. I practice that a lot within my healing modalities as well. That's part of it. So how many out here are lucid dreamers? Have tried it or at least been able to feel it? Because I got some tips for you. Alice says she's done it. So what's an example of controlling or creating in a lucid dream? So it's not really much control because you don't have control. That's what I'm trying to state. What you do have control is what you can state in the dream. So you're awake enough to control the situation, saying this is a dream. So if something's in front of you, for example, and you want to communicate something where you don't like, because in a dream state, you don't always have the information of what you're stating. Sometimes you feel like you're kind of in that weird out of body state. It's like, I can't believe I just said that. Or you're just watching a movie, right? It's more like a watching a movie thing. When you're lucid dreaming, you know you're dreaming, right? So there's some key things you can tell when you're lucid dreaming. And let's go over that. But before we get into that, I want to talk about intention, because when you get in there, you have to make sure you have an intention when you go in. And that's something that's really important. So if you can't even retain your dreams, or if you're starting to practice lucid dreaming, my suggestion to you is to always set an intention when you go to sleep. This is for even planning manifestations, or if you want to ask a question, asking questions, and they can come in the form of your loved ones, your guides, other people in your life, or just in the form of your subconscious coming at your higher self. But there's a mantra that I use, and I do recommend, and I can record this mantra for you guys, and I do have it recorded for myself because I listen to myself, but I really encourage you guys to do this yourself, because there's nothing more powerful than your own voice. There's nothing more powerful than your own voice. Remember that. So here's the mantra. My dream life is part of my soul, my heart, my mind, my versions of me, my creativity, and now I intend to remember my dreams. I'm going to repeat it. My dream life is part of my soul, my heart, my mind, my versions of me, my creativity, and now I intend to remember my dreams. It's a really cool mantra to do, but it's also empowering you to have the intention. So it's more, you can listen to other people state it, but I think it's more powerful coming there. Yeah, Johanna's saying, yes, your voice is super powerful. It contains your own personal healing frequencies. It does. So you have this level of control. So remember, guys, these dream intentions that you have are something for you can come in place. So once you put the intention, also make sure that you have a journal or some kind of recording device. Now, I use the recording device because I do not want to turn the light on. I do not want to write. Now, I also live alone, so I'm not disrupting someone. So I do not recommend it if you're sleeping with someone to pull out your voice recorder. Kai, my brother, do not do that. Do not do that. I do not want to have hate mail from my sister-in-law telling you that she told me to pull out a voice recorder and record myself while you were sleeping. Don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. But the intention is that as soon as you wake up, you put out whatever information that comes out. And I will be honest, I have a lot of recordings of me that I sound ridiculous. Half of the time I'm like halfway asleep and I'm talking all groggy. Doesn't sound really that good, right? But the point is to get as much information as you can so you can get those patterns. And this also will help you with lucid dreaming as well, because you can put the intention of going back somewhere. You can. You absolutely can put those intentions in place. So just keep that in mind. You can put those intentions of going back into dreams, for sure. So one of the things with lucid dreaming is also to have a mental challenge. And these mental challenges are to do something when you're conscious, okay? So if you really want to have the experience of a lucid dreaming, and I encourage you guys to practice this. Practice this. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. I'll get to your guys' questions in a second because I want to get to this information. So the mental challenge, right, is to ask yourself while you're awake, am I dreaming? And I want you guys to touch objects, solid objects around you. Push on them. How does this table feel? How does this chair feel? How does the wall feel? And if you want to, and this is what I used to do, this was a trick that I used to use back in the day, and I don't use it anymore because I have a different technique. But if you have something that you constantly keep on your body, like a watch, or even your hands, guys, looking at your hands, is to realize what it is in reality. What is this reality? Because everything is a different reality, whether it's our dream reality or if it's our conscious reality, it's just another reality, right? What is this reality? Because if you can figure out what this reality is, you can then see the difference in the dream reality. Because what happens in the dream reality is things feel differently. They do. They feel differently. So if you're touching objects, sometimes they're smushy, or you'll be like, this doesn't feel like a chair. It's because you're consciously knowing the difference, right? So I used to do this with a watch. So every time I was able to catch myself and I see a watch, I would be able to click myself to know that I was dreaming. So now I have a pendant that I wear. I wear my Archangel Michael pendant, and I know how this feels, and I touch it constantly through the day. Constantly touching it through the day. So whenever I go for my necklace or something in a dream, like even intentionally, and if I see it and it's an instant thing that I know that I'm dreaming. The other thing that I used to do was the light trick. This was pretty easy, but it also can make you feel a little bit eerie during the conscious waking hours of this. Turning the lights on and off. How many of you had dreams where you can't turn the lights on? Can't turn the lights on? So I used to use this trick a lot because I had a lot of nightmares when I was younger. And a lot of the times it was because I couldn't turn the light on. So I was training myself, especially during my younger years in college when I was really getting into lucid dreaming, some of these techniques. And so I was looking at the fact of turning the lights on and off, but I was training myself that when a light was off, that meant I was close to the dream world, because I dreamt so much of the light being off and I would panic. So a lot of times that helped me face my fears because I was intentionally doing it in the conscious world. So it was a one way for me to face it, but also to realize I'm in a dream. And you'll find that when you're in the dream and you have that perfection of going, I'm in a dream, you have this superpower of confidence, right? Because you're whatever you're stating, no, this isn't real. This is this. I can kind of just enjoy it. And if something comes at me, it's no big deal. Like it's like you're just playing with it. It's like a freaking movie. It's like a toy land. So I have a lot of fun with lucid dreaming, but it's also showcases you how vivid it can be. And it's really amazing for creativity. It really is, because you can see so much. The colors are brighter. The experience is brighter. So I am really into the whole lucid dreaming thing and documenting those experiences. And I found it's been really helpful in my healing modalities, because so many times I put intentions when I'm working with someone is they come in my dream. Like I will literally be with them in my dream, and I will have that lucid ability to be there and to kind of like feel into them and how they feel and how they make me feel, right? Because as a clairsentient, as someone's feelings, you can pull that in, right? So that's why sometimes when we wake up, guys, and we're not really focused on our, like, taking care of our energy, we can feel really exhausted. And it's like, I don't understand. I slept all night, but I had all these crazy dreams. Well, you were working. Newsflash, you were working. So let's get to some questions here. Let's see. Oh my God, there's so many comments here. Let's see. Meredith says, Hi, Meredith. Be safe. Be safe driving. Alice says, I dream of deceased people, and sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, I know you're deceased. So that's common. Again, these are common, especially if you're clairvoyant. You will know. You will just know. And you got to remember, I've heard this from all different variations of it, but there's a lot of people who believe that every person that you meet in your dream is someone that you've seen already or been a part of your life, right? That you might not necessarily feel it or know them, but you might have walked by them and then all of a sudden they're in your dream. You're like, I don't know if I know that person. But I also find it funny too. Like, have you guys ever dreamt of someone where you're like, no, that's the person, but they don't look anything like them? And I've done a lot of research on it, and there are some theories, and these are just theories, that could also be their past life, of what they look like in their past life, because we have soul contracts with people. So did I just blow up your guys' minds right there? Like, oh my God, that's what they might have looked like back in the day when there was somebody else. Just another theory to go in there, but I mean, these are some of the things that come up. Oh, Johanna wrote my mantra down. Thank you. I'll put that up here for everybody on here. Visiting you, letting you know they're okay and they are with you. Yeah, always working on your sleep. Yeah, there's so many different theories on it. And what I'm always so curious about too is the interpretation part of what it means to dream a specific thing. Because I'm finding now, and I'm just being honest here, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this is because I'm finding so much information of knowing myself through dreaming. And by documenting this and journaling it and realizing how much work I do in my sleep, it's kind of a superpower, guys. It's a subconscious superpower we have, right? And there's people out here who, back in the day, some Indian tribes who used to dream together. That would be their thing. They would dream together so they collectively could wake up the conscious to make decisions and work on some of the things that they were manifesting. And these are some of the things that, I learned with interviewing people, which is very cool. And these concepts have been around for, forever. I mean, they're so hidden, but I feel like there's so much information that we can get on dreams. Yeah, that was cool. I can't remember. I think her name was Jennifer, right, Johanna, who we had on the show. She was really cool. Alice says, other times when I'm dreaming and I'm doing something physically, I'm actually doing it while I'm sleeping. Other times I'm talking out loud while dreaming. Yeah. You'll find also there's some people who get stuck. Like, how many of you have ever been in you can't wake up from a dream? You can't wake up. You're stuck in a dream. This will happen a lot too, guys, if you do sleep meditations, if you listen to music, because you're in that tone that, especially if you're listening to 420 and so forth, certain tones of sounds will get you in that REM sleep quicker, because that's becoming the point of where we're can't move our body. But the reason we feel like we're stuck in a dream is our body is paralyzed so that it can fix itself, right? This is a common part of our body repair. And one of the things that can cause this too, if you can't wake up from a dream, is because you have high anxiety, you're not sleeping enough, there's depression or trauma. So that's why they say, make sure you get a certain pattern of sleep, make sure you get enough sleep. I can tell you right now, I do not get enough sleep. I'm a very light sleeper. That's probably why I remember my dreams so much, is because I'm such a light sleeper, but I meditate like a mofo. I do. Right? But there has been times where I've had false awakening dreams where I'm stuck. And I do have a tip for that, because I found that when I'm stuck in a dream, is to do something intense intense in a dream, right? So when you're, especially, this happens a lot when you're in lucid dreaming. So if you feel like you're waking up, you're like, oh my God, I'm waking up again. No, I'm stuck in the dream. Oh my God, I just want to wake up. But your body is in REM mode. And this is, you can get this information on sleep.org. I mean, this is part of science. They say if you can remember at that point to rapidly move your body as quick as possible, like do movements and stuff like that, because it will trigger your body to think consciously that it's moving so that it gets out of that mode, that stuck mode. So yeah, so they say to do like really jumping up and down or moving in a dream. Like if you do these really rapid movements, it's actually, it's creating a false for your consciousness to go, woo, I gotta wake up. I gotta wake up. So it gets out of that mode. My husband says I talk in some foreign language in my sleep. I bet you're not talking a foreign language. I bet you're doing light language, Nancy. When you can't get back into your body. Wait, what does that have? Johanna, I'm not sure I understand your question. I might have missed it while I was chit-chatting here, but it says, wait, when does this happen when you can't get back into your body? It's not about getting back into your body. It's when you can't wake up from a dream. So that's not astral projection. It's literally trying to get your body to wake up because you're in that paralysis. You're paralyzed because your body is in that mode of, and it's a protection mode. Your body does that to be in a protection mode. All right. Austin season stuff. That's astral projection. So Johanna, when he is doing that, he's astral projection. He's leaving his body. He's seeing it. We're going to do a whole nother episode on astral projection because there's a whole slew of techniques that you can do for astral projection. And it's a way different experience than lucid dreaming. It's completely different. Completely different. Like you can float around. You can float around the house. You can float around to your neighbors. Like you can really do it. But when that's because because he's leaving now. He's leaving his body. You know, when you're in a lucid dream and you're stuck in a loop and stuck in the dream, that's completely different. Aaron, keep the channel clean. Keep it clean, Aaron. You guys are funny. So the other thing about, with the lucid dreaming, he says, sorry, he's apologizing. No worries, no worries. I've done that. Don't know how, but I've done it twice that I can't remember. Meredith, what do you know? You mean waking up from a dream or being astral projecting or leaving it? Yeah, that's actual. Yeah, that's absolutely. And we'll do a whole episode on that because that's just so much information. I don't want to inundate you guys with information. I wanted to keep this just on dreams and lucid dreamings on there. Nancy says that might be true that it's light language. I asked him to record it when he gets a chance so I can listen. I mean, there's some people who will go through their food list or something or state certain things within their sleep. They just go on there, and there's people who sleepwalk. They don't realize they're doing it. Your body can consciously feel like it's still there. Oh, astral projection. Yeah, stay in the dreams. Yeah. We'll do an episode on astral projection. I was just keeping this to dreams tonight. You started, Vicky. So the other thing that I love about dreaming is the interpretations of what you can get. One of the things that I'm finding now is how what I'm stating and what I'm seeing in patterns. So for a lot of times I will dream of a house, and it's kind of like the Winchester house. The house that has a zillion rooms that she kept building. I dream of this house all the time. And every time I go in this house, I know it's that house, and I know there's specific rooms in that house. And then there's always some new areas, but it's always weird. It's always connecting to my old homes. And it really, what's even weirder is it starts with one of my did you guys ever have one of these? In our house, we had a laundry chute that we would put our clothes down, from upstairs. So it would go down and shoot into the, to the mud room. And I was fascinated with this as a kid. I used to throw everything fucking down there. My mom used to get so mad at me. I'd be like, my Barbies are going down the laundry chute. And I used to think it was the most magical thing ever. You would go in here and you put stuff down, and then you run downstairs and it would be down there. Now, I dream of this laundry chute 24/7. I don't know if it's because I have an attachment to it as a kid and it's nostalgic, But to me, it means an entering of a new world. So anytime I see that, I get excited about it because I'm like, ooh, what room am I going to be going into through the laundry chute? Because that's how I go down. I literally go through my laundry chute. So, you know, and I'm always curious on that too, is if you guys, do you guys have dreams a lot of your old homes or people that, you know, aren't in your life anymore, like at all? Like not, you don't even talk to them. And I'm not even talking about they're passed away. I'm talking about people that you're like, I cannot believe I dreamt of that person. Pay attention to that. My question was getting skipped. Katrina, I missed your question. She said, hold on. Let me go back. Anna says Winchester House is so cool. I know. Anna, we got to go down. Anna's my niece. We need to get to the Winchester House. I think that will be a dream for my nieces and I to get there and check it out. So Katrina says, I had a grandma take me a tour of her home while flying in. She was trying to show me something or look for something, but I couldn't get what she was telling me or showing me, and she was getting upset. So how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel, Katrina? Because the frustration is never, it's not always about, because it's your dream. So it's not about the other people. It's your perception of what it makes you feel. Did you feel that you couldn't have a connection with her, or she's frustrated with you because you guys aren't communicating in the same way? So sit with that. So these are the things I'm telling you, like you really need to sit with your dreams and how it makes you feel, and not so focus on the intent of like, oh my God, she was talking, getting frustrated. Like look at the bigger picture of it. You guys couldn't understand each other. So have you had moments where you couldn't understand her? Or is she a representation of somebody, because it's a grandma, right? A representation of someone in your life currently that you feel that anxiety? Because 9 and 10 times it's regarding something like an inner fear that we have. Yeah. Scared of her. She wasn't a mean person. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's that anxiety. So that's coming up in your life now because that's a flag. So these moments are basically flags to tell you when things are happening in your life. And it's a really cool thing when you look at that and to document if those feelings are coming up. And if the more you document these, you might feel that it's not just your grandma, that you're going to find these intentions somewhere else. So pay attention to how you feel. Really, that's what it comes down to. That's really what I wanted to bring up to everybody tonight. Nancy says, yes, have dreamed of people I haven't seen in many years, like high school classmates who I wasn't friends with to begin with. Yeah, I have that too. But also, sometimes you guys have that inkling of like, you dream of someone and then you're like, I feel this nudge to call them. I haven't talked to them in a while, right? So listen to your body, like, especially if like you're feeling the notion to reach out to someone. Because that could be a notion of like, you know, like I haven't talked to them, because I do believe you can enter other people's dreams collectively if you're in the same vibration as them. I do believe that, but I also believe that the dream is really meant for you, right? So it's their perception. So they might have a completely different perception of how you are in their dream, right? Even though you might be in the same dream realm, it's still different. It's still different. So just remember that bubble's always your bubble. But I have had, and now this was interesting. I've had remember that house I told you about that was like the Winchester house? I had a friend who told me that she dreamt of me and following me in a house. And she's like, this house had so many rooms, and she described it, and I freaked out because it was that house. And I was like, what the heck? Why were you in there? What was I doing? She's like, you're falling around and you're going to all these different rooms, and I was worried about you. But she made the inkling of calling me and telling me, and then I was freaked out because she literally described the house that I dreamt about. Yeah. Alice says she dreams people that she no longer associates with. Aaron says, I have some dreams that Isis is leaving me. I know it's my anxiety and I'm going to lose my marriage. So again, yeah, but you recognize it, Aaron. So you're recognizing it, and that's just a fear. So so your body's telling you to sit with it. And most of the time, and you know, Johanna's on here, and her and I are in this parallel world of like, we must accept everything. Acceptance. It's not about letting go, it's accepting. And it truly is. It truly is. Half of our misery, guys, is because we are resistant to accept things how they are. So there's a part of us, there's a reality out there, and we'll talk about different realities later in another show. But there's a part of us that has to accept these feelings. Accept that, and not resist it. It's surrendering to it, right? So that your body can let something go and how it feels, because most of the time we resist the feelings. We don't want to feel a certain way. So that's why that anxiety and that thing keeps coming up, right? Because once we accept it and we truly like feel it and accept it for what it is, it dissolves, it leaves our body. And I'm not saying it's going to leave your body forever, but that one notion will. And you'll recognize it, and then you'll become more clear each and every time. You'll become way more clear of how that feels in your body. Hey, Vicky, good to see you here. Isis says, I have dreams about the same house all the time. It has many different rooms, but the outside environment changes. So I also have this theory too with that, is that we collectively have these houses too, kind of like our Akashic records, where we create these safe domains where it's kind of part of our logical brain, where we put our memories and store things. So I kind of like to see it as that ever-growing Winchester house, right? Where we have all these different experiences. It's sometimes like when you can walk. Have you guys ever had the dream where you're in one house and all of a sudden you're walking in and like, why is this the room of my apartment, but I'm at my old family house? I have that a lot too, where they kind of like meld. But it's not about the experiences. It's about what those areas made us feel like and why they're melding together, because we carry the same experiences one by one. This is like karmic cycles. These are the cycles that we carry, and they're repeating. They're literally repeating themselves. So a lot of this comes down with cycles of ourselves. I've dreamt of old homes that we've lived in. Yeah. Now, how many of you have had dreams where something comes about in reality? Premonitions. Because premonitions, and they've had scientific proof on premonitions that they do exist. I feel that way too. I also know that we have blips in our reality that collectively we go through as a collective, that it's easier to have these premonitions in the dream realm because we're more accepting that it's just a dream. It's not real. So we're actually getting in that information ahead of time. Karen says, my mother passed in 2004 and we had a really close relationship, like best friends. I often dream that we fight and argue and act like we hate each other. It really bothers me. I feel like, Karen, for that, and this is just my take, you can take this how it sees fit for you. Because, I'm just, the fact that you guys have a close relationship like best friends, I feel that the fear is to have a relationship like that is going to be gone because all of a sudden you don't agree, right? So the reason it's bothering you is because they don't accept you for who you are. And that's a really pivotal thing, and that's really big and deep, especially when it comes down to your mom, right? Because our moms are ones that, are proud of us. We love unconditionally. And if, oh my gosh, the idea that they don't agree with me or they don't like me for them, you feel a little bit small from that, right? So I ask of you, when you feel that way, what person represents that in your life where you feel it's unconditional love and that there's conditions still based on it now? Because can you accept them? Because that bothering feeling is because there's something in your present life that is feeling that it's not there, a relationship. So I feel like your mom is just a metaphor. They're just pulling in your mom because that's the unconditional part of saying, if that ever broke, this is how I would feel. So can you accept the feeling that if someone didn't agree with you, who loved you unconditionally, can you accept if they disagreed or you did not get in there? Because if it's bothering you, it means you're not accepting it. So acceptance is huge. And that's the hardest thing that we get stuck on, is it doesn't feel good. We don't want to agree to the situation, but let's be real. The reality is there's a plethora of other realities. So, and we'll talk about this another time, but this is like one reality versus another. Why can't they all exist? There's nothing saying that none of them all exist. So if they all exist, can you accept this part of you where it doesn't exist, may not exist? So it's being able to have both sides of it. Let's see. Lots of questions here. You guys are flying through this. I'm trying to get everybody here. Oh, Vicky says she dreamt of her new apartment and the next day she got approval. That's manifesting, baby. That is absolutely manifesting that. Not only is it an intention, but you were confident enough to know that you had it, that you're pulling it into your dream. And then you got the approval for that. That's powerful manifesting. Isa says, I dreamed once that my best friend was on a dark beach and staring at the ocean. I kept trying to talk to him, but he didn't hear me. The ocean waves were slowly covering him up. After that dream, he went through a very dark period and we stopped communicating. Huh. So Isis, when you went through this dream, how, because I can't imagine that because you kind of knew something ahead of time was coming, so you felt it, and that's being part of being clairsentient. You feel things ahead of time, especially if they're in your vibration. So what did it feel for you? Because it's not just feeling empathy for that other person. Were you able to create that boundary of knowing that this wasn't mine? And when I say this isn't mine, it's so that you don't feel it of saying that we stopped communicating, that it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with that person. Sometimes when people go through stuff, we don't understand the process of it, and we assume internally that it's our issue. But it's never really our issue. It's their issue. So some insight there. Nancy says, I've had dreams that were premonitions, but I used to remember all of my dreams. I remember one nightmare that I had the first time many years ago, and I've had it many times since. Very crazy and jump as far as locations, but truly a nightmare. It's as vivid right now, and I've never written it down. Why haven't you written it down? Some of the greatest inspirations you can get are from nightmares. Seriously. Not only the creativity, but it's also about what's happening and how that dream changes. Because like I said, you're creating a pattern to see the patterns. You're even creating a journal of when those patterns change. I'm telling you guys, when you start dream journaling and you start looking back and seeing the patterns, it's like freaking Beautiful Mind. You'll be like, oh my God. Yeah, Isa says she was sad about it first, but she knew it wasn't hers. Yeah, and these are some of the things that you feel ahead of time. Sometimes we just know. Like, it's an inner knowing, right? Just knowing when something's going to fall away or not. And it's just our way of saying, here it is. Spirit's talking to us. Anna says, is it normal to have repeating nightmares? I feel like I have more nightmares than dreams. Anna, you watch a lot of scary movies, like me, like your Tanta. Oh no. So listen, outside of that, outside of me giving you're having a nightmare dream. Repeating nightmares. One of the biggest things about repeating nightmares is the feelings. And I can't say this enough. And I know I'm going to repeat myself 24/7, but it's about the feelings that come up. And are you addressing those feelings in your conscious reality, in the reality that you're in right now? Because we have a zillion of them. We can pretend we're somewhere else, or we can just realize that we're somewhere else. But it's usually a flag to say something in you is giving you that anxiety and how it makes you feel. So my suggestion is for Anna is to write those feelings down and sit with them, right? Even if it's like, how does it feel in your body, so that you can recognize this, so that when you do have those dreams, and that's why I like lucid dreaming, guys, because when you get the chance of lucid dreaming, it's not about controlling dreams. But let's say Anna was lucid dreaming in that nightmare and she realized she was in a dream. She's going to have that confidence level to state something, to know it's a dream, and be able to maybe see something differently. Not always, but maybe see something differently in that. Yeah, my family, we all love horror movies, scary stuff. I know, and I play a lot of like game. I can't get enough of it, but like that's just something that I like to do. But being scared is also the same excitement, adrenaline it's the same as excitement. So when you have fear and excitement, you can literally change them body to body. That's why when people scream and all of a sudden they're laughing when they're at like one of those haunted houses or something, it's the same adrenaline. It's literally the same adrenaline that you're creating. So people can get very addicted to that kind of feeling. What about Dream World City? Each dream takes place in the same location. Each dream takes place in the same location. So are you saying that like it's always in this, like you're dreaming of, let's say, New York City, and every dream you have is always in New York City, but you're not in New York City? Is that what you're saying? Or I'm just using that as an example, trying to get what you're trying to get at, Kelly. I mean, yeah, you can have reoccurring locations because they might mean something to you. Pay attention to the location. Have you ever been to that location? What does that location mean to you? How do you feel in that location? Again, how do you feel? I dream a lot of times when I'm in the city, and a lot of it's because I miss the hustle and bustle of it. Pet Cemetery, man, that was a book that I could, that scared the heck out of me. That movie scared me more than anything. The original Pet Cemetery. I'm not talking about the next ones in line. Those ones were pretty cheesy. I love scary movies too. My husband says that's why I have so many nightmares. Yeah. I think it's also what we have a lot of. I mean, how many of us have had dreams with working, and then all of a sudden you go to sleep and, you wake up and you have to work and you're like, oh my God, I've just been living the mundane life. So you obviously are dreaming about it now, those same patterns. But again, if you're dreaming about same patterns that you're not happy in, red flag, guys. That is your body saying it needs a timeout, a break. So if you are having the things where you're waking up and you're exhausted and you're like, I just dreamt of this place and now I'm living in this reality. Oh my God, I can't even enjoy myself in dream world. You're literally telling yourself you need a vacation. You need a break. There's something that's not working for you. It's your subconscious. It's creating your own dictionary. So yeah, I do believe with interpretation, I would love to go to a dream research group and see what they have to say on there, just because I'm really into all that kind of information. But really, it's about creating your own dictionary and what it means to you. Yes, I recommend you can, get a dream book. You can look at the different interpretations, but really, really pay attention to how it feels on your body. All right. So Kelly has this question. It is my own city that I dream of. It has lakeshore and downtown and hiking trails, ranch, college campus, and schools, etc. Sometimes I'm dreaming in the school or at my house or at a ranch. Okay. So what about that are you asking, is where I'm getting at. Are you saying that you're just wondering why you're dreaming of those locations? How do you feel about those locations? Are you happy in those locations, or you're just sick of the environment, you want something new? Put it a different, you can do that with a dream intention. You absolutely can. I don't like the dreams when I'm working at my job. No, I hate them. I freaking hate them. I have a lot of them too because I work a lot. And I always have to be like, all right, obviously there's something here. I'm not giving myself enough time or space. I don't like the dreams when I'm working at my job. Nothing weird happens, just me doing. Isn't that the worst? It's like you can't even have anything interesting happen in your dream. And it's like, seriously, I'm doing the same shit that I would be doing. Kelly, same environment each time. Interesting, Kelly. Same environment each time. Wow. And you've documented all of this? I'm sure. I believe you. But aren't you curious now? I would document just to be there's got to be a time where I don't dream of these locations and it's something else. So that's just part of your environment, of what your world is. But I wonder what the bigger meaning of that is. That's really cool. I actually think that's cool. I think that's super cool. That Cemetery was truly a horrible nightmare book, and the movie was pretty true too. But Stephen King created most of his work from his dreams. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Aaron says that Kelly Hansen is in the movie Dark City. That is very much like Dark City. It's like you're stuck in the Matrix glitch. I would try putting, you know what, Kelly? I would try putting in your intention to be somewhere else. Just test it out. Have fun with it. Ooh, Karen says, what about vivid sex dreams with someone yucky? Again, how does that make you feel? Do you wake up and be like, oh my God? Or are you like, oh my God, I can't believe I enjoyed that. What was happening? That's all about feelings too, right? I've read all his stuff. Yeah, Nancy, it's so true. Carrots is gross. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that, but yeah, I've had some vivid dreams where, it's hard, guys, because we're having our emotions and our sensations that are being reached, especially when we have those very vivid dreams that feel real. But that's the fun part too. And I know I'm bringing this back to lucid dreaming, but like that's one of the fun things about lucid dreaming is if you can put those intentions in and start being aware, and this awareness, those things of like the table and everything, this is being present too. So I'm actually giving you a tool of practicing being present so that you know the difference of being present and when it's not present, right? Because you can have fun with it. You can get more insight from it. Anna says, Zoe's watching with me. She wants to tell you that she had a dream where she was alone in the house looking for us. And then she was randomly in a different place by the beach, still looking for people. She says it always ends with her realizing everyone's gone. So that's a fear of loss, losing, abandonment, rejection. So Zoe, how does that make you feel? It obviously doesn't feel good, right? So where right now are you feeling that? And where are you not addressing it, that you're not alone, that you're still loved, and that you love yourself? Sit with yourself, hon. All right. Nancy said I loved it. Well, guys, we are wrapping up here. We're about an hour on here, and I had so much fun with you all being on live. We're going to talk about astral projection next. If you guys have suggestions for the pop-ons, for the live chats, go ahead and message me. You can go on harmoniafriends.com. But also, I want to take this time, for those of you who are watching the replay, make sure you comment replay if you are not live. And, obviously, thank you for liking and subscribing, but also want to let you guys know with some events that are going on too. For those of you who don't know, I will be in Salem, Massachusetts, and I will be there for a event hosted by My Mystical Life. I have a lot of late bloomers on here already, and they're like, we are so tired of hearing about this, but yay, we're going to be there. I hope a lot of you guys are going to be there. I hope to absolutely meet a lot of you there. So I will be at that event. And I will have private readings, so you can actually pre-register there for private readings. Would love to see you guys and meet you all there at Salem. And I also have next week, guys, if you want the Intro to Tarot class, if you haven't been into that or seen that class, I have a sign up right now on my website, and you can find that in the private sessions area. It says Intro to Tarot. And it's all about my open enrollment for my next Tarot workshop. So that's coming up, and that's starting already on September 29th, which is my birthday. Yes, I'm starting a class on my birthday because we're going to celebrate. Because I love Tarot. You know how much I love Tarot, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for your love and support. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Take care.